Hmm. Good evening. I was expecting you. What I do? Well, I practice something called eating, you might remember. I can't actually digest it. No canine can. I will throw up later, but sometimes you should try to stay in touch with your disguise as human. It's awful. Chocolate. Blah. Blah. It's really awful. Sorry. I was actually challenged by one of our subscribes to try and do that. How can mortals stomach this? Some blood would be good. So much better. Damn it. I could use some more to wash that away. Blah. Sorry. Not good. Anyway, I'm trying to resist getting some of yours. But you're here to learn, not to be drained, so you are safe. Don't worry, I will compose myself. Let's start with the routine. I mean, you know me. It's me, Orcarisper, your guide to the Sanguine Archives, in which we explore the lore behind or in this very world of darkness, where we focus on the view of the world from a perspective of vampires, and in special that of Clan Baali, to which I belong. Now, let me be your guide through the memories of the blood for tonight, and let's venture into the powers of Daimonion and what it grants you. Last lesson we spoke about dark thaumaturgy and finished that up. Dark thaumaturgy has to be learned though through various difficult means. Daimonion though is inherent in Baali blood. All Baali can use it, all Baali can master it, all Baali know how to wield it. It's our signature discipline, the one thing that makes us stand apart from all other clans. No other, not even a bloodline, except Yasaniali, who technically are Baali, has that power. Nobody but us wields this, nobody but us can, because our blood is infused with demonic essence. It is a power that only we have, and nobody else can even learn or handle, even if they diablerize a Baali. In order to learn this, you have to be a Baali. And it has so many great uses that you might not be familiar with, and so to make your transition a little bit more likely, or let's say pleasant, let me just introduce you to what it can do. Because our blood is very potent and... oh, sorry, that chocolate. Our blood is very potent and powerful, even though I don't give off the impression right now, I guess. Anyway, with barely any skill in Daimonion, basically what you wake up with after your transformation is the ability to sense the sin. Do you know the movie Dark Rider? I mean Hell Rider? Exactly like that. It allows you to peek into your target's soul and see their greatest moral weakness and their greatest fear. It allows you to instantly know what someone wants and desires as well. It's extremely useful for conversation, such as well as manipulation, intimidation, and of course seduction. If you know these things about someone, you can use this to torment them or to just make them into your best friend and ally. It is one of the most useful disciplines ever existed in Canite history. Don't underestimate this power to instantly know your target's fear, moral weakness and greatest desire. It allows you to play with them so much. It's why we Baali are the masters of corruption. Not even the Setites come even close. It's why we are better seducers than even Toreador, because we know what our target really wants. And we can be intimidating to a degree that is uncanny. Just saying. Anyway, with a little bit more skill in this power, you can actually summon the fear of the void below. You can terrify your opponent with the fear of going to hell, which means that they will very likely become absolutely catatonic, unable to defend themselves or do anything, making even vampires into rather easy victims, as they won't be able to resist anything you do to them. But more importantly, it can send them into total panic and road trek, just make them flee the scene, which you might not really want to happen. So chase after them. They won't be a big deal. With some skill in Daimonion, you actually gain one of the best abilities that you can have as a vampire. Conflagration. It allows you to summon black flames that burn ice cold, flames from the outer dark, from the outer darkest deepest umbra, causing insane amount of damage. It can induce road trek in others as well as you if you are not careful with it. It's absolutely unsoakable by any means except magic, and more importantly it freezes, rendering an opponent unable to even push out the flames. You know, you can douse the flames if you burn, even as a vampire if you don't fall into road trek, but with these flames you just become stiff and unable to move as you just crumble to dust, as your body freezes and the blood expands, pulverizing your cells. Just saying, it's very, very nice. It also allows you to use the black flames to enhance, say, your claws or your weapon, or indeed throw it as a fireball. Well, that will need more skill, but you can. More importantly, if you have this ability, you can also learn how to liquefy fear, which means that you can cause negative emotions of your victim, not limited to fear, but mainly or easiest used for fear, and it can condense into a dark liquid, the color similar to the actual color of the emotion you would see with Auspex, just very, very dark, like a very dark green for jealousy, a very, very dark blue for sadness, a very dark red for hate and anger. The powerful aspect of this is that the stronger the emotion is, the more potent the liquid is. And here's the important thing. You can actually drink it and feed off it as if it were blood. And the more powerful the emotion, the more powerful the kind of blood will be that you liquefied. You can feed off emotions with this. And it is absolutely amazing for a vampire. If you're skilled in Daimonion, you actually gain the ability of Psychomachia, which allows to summon the greatest fear your target has and make it fight it, as in physically fight it. It's not only a fantastic distraction if you want to get away or anything, but more importantly, it's an aid in combat, as your victim will very likely be fighting this illusionary target of his, the illusion that you just summoned up, with a favor. So while he's busy fighting his own fear, you can sneak up and do whatever you want to them from behind, stake them, decapitate them as you wish. The illusions though have their limits, so the wounds that the illusion, the summoned up fear, causes in the target are illusionary as well. They don't actually damage, but they cause still a great amount of pain and distraction. In mortals, just summoning this up will likely give them a heart attack. If you are good with Daimonion, you can actually cause condemnation, which is the most frightening power the Baali wield, as you can curse a target permanently. You can make the curse last forever and drive your targets into suicide with it. I mean, you already have the knowledge of what your target fears or desires and can make the curse occur accordingly. Just imagine that your target fears, say, dogs, and you curse them to be constantly followed by dogs. Wherever they go, they just appear out of nowhere and follow them. You can make them, well, anything you want really. You can make them ugly, you can damage them, you can lower their humanity, you can turn them into animals, you can curse them in any way you like. And that's just with a good understanding of the discipline. There is more. Every Baali can go this far. You need a bit thicker blood for the next one though, and that is concordance. You can basically make a devil's bargain to gain lasting power. Everything is possible here. However, how should I put this? The problem is that you will kind of curse yourself, but while those things will never ever be going away and always be present, you will also have access to those powers without the need of spending blood. You can bargain for fire immunity, which is an absolute must-have for vampires if you ask me, as our greatest bane is fire, well, after sunlight, and you become immune to fire with this. You can trade for wings that allow you to fly, though as I said they will be permanent, so you might wear something that hides them really good. You can gain a demonic form, like extra dangerous claws or hoofs that allow you to run faster. You can grow in height or just become more muscular. You can increase all your physical attributes like that. You can actually make the beast less powerful, causing you to lose all your humanity or road rating, but at the same time making you immune to frenzy and road trek, which is again very, very useful. And how much humanity do you have to begin with? Yeah. However, at this level of expertise you can also use this power to lower your target's humanity or road rating, which is nice, especially for those lofty moral high ground people. Anyway, if you are exceptional with Daimonion, and that requires quite a bit on your end, you may actually be able to cause a plague that causes insane amounts of damage in mortals and immortals alike. You can actually kill vampires with this plague. If they manage to survive it, they will lose all their appearance, or at least drop it to a very high degree. Not as effective for Nosferatu or Samedi, but everyone else should be very afraid of this. Another exceptional power is the summoning of the Herald of Topeth, which allows you to control, or better said, summon and manifest a demon into a physical form at your command, basically enabling you to summon fire-breathing, extremely dangerous, clawed, werewolf-like demons from hell that can deal with your enemies and be your bodyguard. And the true power of this level of enabling Daimonion gives you the power of the re-embrace. Yes, not all Baali can do the re-embrace. It takes quite a bit in order to learn it, but here's the thing. The re-embrace is the thing that makes us Baali so powerful, so interesting, as we can make other vampires into our own clan. We can take a vampire of any clan, convert them, and they will be Baali forever. Ah, the chocolate. Ah, forgive me. Blah. I have the taste in my mouth again. Blah. As Baali we are used to torment, so don't complain, focus. If you master Daimonion, like really master it, you can actually cause Adramelec's Wrath, which unleashes the power of the sun on your target, even in the darkest night or underground. Be careful, because this will cause road trek in your target and very likely you too. However, the light itself will only affect your target, and it will be as if bright midday daylight without any clouds or anything, which means that with this you can annihilate other vampires like that. On the same level of mastery you get the ability to call up a Herald of Hell, which basically means that you summon an even more powerful demon from beyond, however one that you can neither control nor banish, so be very careful if you ever use this. I like to unleash those on cairns of werewolves, it's a lot of fun. Anyway, you can also cause contagion, which means that you can unleash one or several sins on an area from immediate surroundings to an entire city, depending on how good you are. And you can cause all the people in the area, including Canaanites, to become jealous, loathing, full of fury and hatred, or just so driven by lust that they start a huge orgy. Either way, you can be certain that total chaos will erupt and the city won't be able to withstand anything at that moment. If you have achieved Grand Mastery of Daimonion, you can actually call the Great Beast, which means that you can cause a rift into the outer dark and summon one of the elder gods on earth. I might mention that no Baali ever has done that. Nurgle tried it twice and failed, so the chances of you pulling it off are pretty much zero. Also, it would very likely just destroy yourself and a lot of other things as well. And I have to remind you that we Baali want to rule, not destroy the world. So don't use that, if you ever manage to. And then, if you have perfected Daimonion, you can actually make yourself a demon. Nurgle and a few others actually pulled that one off. You can ascend to true demonhood. The true masters of Daimonion become actual demons with infernal ranking, partially leaving their being as a vampire behind. Now you will still be possessing your own body, but you will be a demon, and if your body is destroyed, you just go to Malphias, to hell, from which you can be summoned and possess another body, allowing you to use the disciplines that you had in your previous body as long as it's a vampiric body. Which means if you possess a vampiric body, it will always be a Baali body. Just saying that. Well. Anyway, there's also some interesting combinational skill that you can have with Daimonion. One of my favorites is also quite overpowered, I think. It allows you to command the swarm, which means with a little bit of knowledge in Daimonion and basic understanding of animalism, you can not only summon a swarm, usually flies or other insects, that adhere to your command. No, you can do more. You can see through their eyes and hear through their ears as if you were them, which is powerful enough because you can use them as spies that are kinda unnoticed by almost anyone and experience everything they experience. But more importantly, and this is the really broken thing, you can use your disciplines through the swarm, which means you can summon up hellfire on your target on a distance without them ever knowing who did it or what happened. You can burn them to ash from miles and miles away. All you need to do is summon the swarm and send them to your target throughout the city, to another city, You can send them from Nashville to Chicago or vice versa, or whatever you want. And just use the swarm to destroy someone. Like that. Isn't this great? And it also goes for dark thaumaturgy, I might add. Which makes you the ultimate master. And it's the reason why some Baali just retreat into a cave and operate completely from there, safe, unseen, and horrible. Well, another combination is the power that I call Iron Legion. With a good understanding of Daimonion, or let's say some understanding of it, and a little bit of obfuscate knowledge and power, you can actually become possessed by a demon at will. However, he doesn't really command you, but he will answer questions that you ask. The important thing is also answering questions that others ask, but asking them wrongly. Here's the important thing. This is actually a self-defense mechanism. If you, say, are forced by dominate or something to tell the truth, use this power and you will tell the truth that the demon perceives. And the demon will be able to answer wrongly on your behalf, which is absolutely fantastic. Then there's the Fires of the Abyss, with some skill in Daimonion and also obtenebration, which isn't too likely that you get, but if you have it, you can actually cause your tentacles of shadow to be burning in abyssal flames that constantly deal aggravated damage that is only soakable by magical means, making your tentacles absolutely insanely powerful and strong, especially against vampires. And then there's Balgrov's Torture, with some skill in Daimonion and a little bit of skill in Temporis. Now Temporis is again very unique, and I doubt that you will ever get access to it. I myself don't, I just know this power because I've witnessed it. And with this you can actually make a victim's suffering eternal, which is quite frightening if you ask me. And finally there is the Rite of Summoning, with some skill in Daimonion and Presence. You can summon a demon in any situation you like and bargain with them right there on the spot, without anything else necessary, which is quite useful, and given that you as a Baali already have Daimonion and Presence from start, it's not too hard to obtain either. It can be a real lifesaver in some situations, when say your haven is stormed and you can bargain with the demon to escort you safely outside. Anyway, this lesson is going on for quite a while now. I think we should end it here and just try to get back to this another time. Do not forget to use the magical gesture of the thumbs up when you walk upstairs to disable the enchanted traps and disable the wards to be protected from them. Don't forget to ring the bell at the door so it actually opens. Tell your friends about this place so they owe you. And don't forget, I am your main scribe or charisper. However, if you want to help me in exchange for the lessons that you receive, become a subscribe at the archives and help me copy some ancient texts. Good night.